Go see Sketch in theaters today. I promise you'll love it. It's really good. Really, really good.
It was like fun, like it was suspenseful, like it was all of the above, like, and a good feeling. You know, I can go home and like have a good sleep tonight.
Hey, my favorite moment was from the beginning to the end because this is one of the best movies you're going to see, so make sure you go and see Sketch.
Came all the way from Scotland to watch this movie. Very excited to be here, yeah.
I'm a fan of everything Angel does. One of the most innovative and effective systems in terms of actually getting the audience what they want to watch.
Sketch 2025.
Sketch 2025.
Sketch 2025.
Sketch 2025. Go see Sketch in theaters today.
Go see Sketch in theaters right now. Stop what you're doing. Leave.
So we're here with Tony Hale, the star and producer of Sketch. First question for you, Tony, is Sketch has been described as having a Spielbergian feel, full of wonder and adventure. Can you share how the movie captures the magical essence and how it's appealing in that way?
Let me take. No, I'm just kidding. No, I want it. What's so exciting about this is I was a big Goonies fan growing up, and it has that fun, very fun family adventure movie vibe mixed with these really deep themes of processing feelings. And so it's a combination of heart and eye candy. You know, it's just, Seth Worley just did such a bang-up job. He really did.
I love that. What do you think people will enjoy when watching Sketch in theaters?
Oh, they have to watch it in theaters because it's so full of life. And I want that, because what's cool about many things, but one thing is when she draws these monsters, you can see the texture. So whether she draws it with chalk or crayon or marker or glitter, whatever, and you see it in the movie. And so to see that on the big screen is magic, I think.
So Tony, you've played so many unique roles in your career. What did you enjoy most about this role?
You know, I related to this. I'm a dad myself, and my character in the movie wanted to remove all challenges from his daughter, you know, like one being processing feelings. And I hope that parents see this and feel seen, because parenting's a learning curve. You know, we're all making mistakes, and he woke up to the fact is I need to allow my kid to process this grief the way she wants to. And so I relate to just wanting to be like, oh, I don't want to see my kid go through stuff, but they have to go through stuff, you know?
And I love what you said about being a parent. Why do you think parents should take their whole family to see this family-friendly film?
I mean, I'm a huge Goonies fan, and the reason I love Goonies is because I made my parents watch it over and over and over, and they loved it also. So I would love for parents to have that same experience with this. It's got, because I come from a comedy background, so it's like the comedy's tight, all that stuff, and they can enjoy it as much as their kids. And that is a shared viewing experience. Go see Sketch in theaters today. I promise you'll love it. It's really good. Really, really good.
Seth Worley, writer-director of Sketch. First question for you is, how did you approach writing a story that balanced humor, adventure, and emotion?
You know, it was so often it was just following the story. I've often said that, like, you know, some of the people in my life who have gone through some of the greatest tragedies are also the funniest people in my life, and because I found that if any way you lean, if you lean toward tragedy, you lean toward heartbreak, you find comedy there, and vice versa. You lean toward comedy, you'll find truth about the human experience and about life, and so much of it was just trusting the direction the story was pulling, and also trying to keep the audience on their toes and not ever getting too comfortable. Like if we're somewhere emotional and we're getting there, I've just found from all of my heroes, like, and my favorite writers and directors, they all are constantly undercutting their success and their achievements within the story. Is when something's feeling really funny, they'll then hit you with something emotional. When something's really emotional, they'll hit you with something funny. And that created this wonderfully complex, but at the same time broadly appealing and broadly accessible story that we were all really proud of.
And why do you think parents should be open to taking their kids to see Sketch?
I think because, one, I'm a parent, Tony's a parent, like, so much of this idea for this movie came first, and then came the realization, this is an opportunity to make a movie that is not just for my kids. That's something that when my kids were younger, when I started working on this, I've been working on this movie for almost a decade, and they were a lot younger when we started, and that I was in a season of wishing every movie was as good as the Lego movie or as good as a Pixar movie, and feeling like most of the stuff out there that was marketed toward our whole family was really just made for my kids or stupider adults. And not really stupider, but one a huge goal for me was to make something that parents didn't just have to tolerate, but actually found meaning and found themselves in as they watched. But also, I think, at the same time, we were really responsible. We know that we have a responsibility when making like family entertainment. We have a responsibility not just to make it good enough for everybody, but also to make it dangerous in a way that kids actually want it to feel dangerous, and safe in a way that parents want it to actually be ultimately a safe space. So that doesn't mean we made a completely sanitated movie where it's like there's not like complex things that we deal with, but at the same time, we don't want to like traumatize children, and we don't want to teach kids anything they don't already know, or even anything they do know. All that to say, it was a tightrope we were walking at all times. It was the responsibility of making something that kids were going to see was not something we took lightly. And the last thing is that we really want parents to walk away feeling empowered to create a safe space at home for their kids to process difficult emotions and difficult thoughts, and to not run from those things and not hide from those things.
What was it like working with, of course, Tony Hale and the rest of the cast?
Man, this cast is incredible. Tony is an old friend. Tony, this is my first time getting to actually officially work with Tony, but we've been friends for a long time, and I was blown away by how dedicated Tony is to the emotional truth of a scene, even a scene that's primarily comedy, and I see it now in all of his work, going back and rewatching it. He is completely focused on the emotional truth of his character. Even a character like Buster Bluth in Arrested Development, he's found an emotional truth for that character, and he's coming at it from a real place, and that's what makes his delivery of the material so funny and so good. He's also an incredibly generous and kind human being. Darcy Carden is the coolest person I've ever met in my life. Darcy brought so much soul to this movie. I had a list of actresses that I wanted to work with for Liz, and they were Darcy Carden, Darcy Carden, Darcy Carden, Darcy Carden. So when she agreed to do it, it was incredible. And then I remember calling my friend Jessica Sherman, who's a casting director, in the summer of 2022 and telling her, I need 3 kids, I need them all to be incredible, and I need them in like 2 weeks. And she brought us Bianca Bell, Q Lawrence, and Callan Cox, who were not just three of the most talented and professional kids I've ever worked with, but just actors, people I've ever worked with. And they're delightful human beings with really cool parents. And their performances are going to blow this theater up. They're so good.
Now, you have an extensive background in VFX. So how did you go about visualizing and then creating the monsters in this movie?
Yeah, so like visual effects have always, for me, been just a part of the toolkit of filmmaking. I've always been, I've never actually been a visual effects. I've always made my paychecks have always been for directing, but visual effects have become over time such a foundational part of so many of the projects I take on. And I think a lot of that's because I grew up on movies like Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Back to the Future and Jurassic Park, movies that played with visual effects in a way that the story couldn't exist without them, and even the effects in those movies in some ways couldn't exist without the story that inspired that required them. And for this, it was such a profound challenge to try and create monsters that were threatening and simultaneously goofy looking as possible. And we wanted them to feel tactile and real, but not feel like flesh and blood, skin and bone monsters, but feel like they were made of whatever she drew them with. And I just had an incredible team of artists who held themselves to standards much higher than they had the resources or money to actually do, and yet still achieved it. You should go see Sketch in theaters because it is the most fun you'll have in a theater. Every filmmaker says that they made their film for a theatrical experience, but it's really cool when it turns out to be the case. By the third act of this movie, you're going to be like cheering and applauding. Just go to the theater. Come on.
We're here with Via Bell, who is one of the actresses in Sketch. Why do you believe Sketch is a movie that families can enjoy together?
Because I feel like there's something for everybody. Like, there's, cute little kid stuff, and then there's also jokes that the adults will find funny.
I love that.
Yeah.
As a young actress, what do you think kids will enjoy about this movie?
How just kind of fun and just chaotic it is. Yeah.
What was it like working with Tony Hale and the other actors?
For Tony, I was kind of starstruck because he played a character on a show that was based off of one of my favorite book series at the time. But then, he's just a really chill, cool guy. Yeah. And then I just clicked immediately with the other kids. We were great friends.
What emotions can people expect after watching Sketch in theaters?
Joy, sadness, reminiscing, nostalgia. Yeah.
And what is your favorite monster in Sketch?
Dave.
Dave?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Dave's cool.
Go see Sketch in theaters because it's super fun and family friendly, and it's a great movie to watch while you're eating popcorn.
Okay, so Q, why do you think parents should bring their whole family to see Sketch?
I think parents should bring their whole family to see Sketch because it is a family movie. Like it's about grieving, it's about reliving memories, it's about learning to trust each other more, which I think a lot of families don't do.
And what challenges did you face portraying a character dealing with grief, but in a family-friendly way?
Usually when a character's dealing with grief, they're more like emotional, They get more angry, they get more sad, but having to be a character who's grieving but playing like, the strong guy who has to make sure everything's staying together. It was difficult, but it's fun because this is kind of who I am. Yeah.
What was it like acting alongside people like Tony Hale and the rest of the cast?
It was awesome working with Tony Hale. He's amazing. Yeah, he made the last scene so much easier. He made it just having that shoulder to cry on, and it's kind of weird. But him being my dad, even though he isn't my dad, it was weird. But he's a great actor, and working with Bianca and Callan, they were also amazing to work with. They knew how to. They came to set every day prepared with their lines and their actions, and they got it done. I think you guys should all go see Sketch in theaters, specifically because the movie deserves to be seen in theaters. It's big, the monsters are big, it's colorful. I just don't think a home TV does it justice.
We're here with Callan, actor in the film Sketch. Callan, your character Bowman could be described as obnoxious but lovable. Yeah. Yeah. How does your character add to the humor in the film Sketch?
He kind of adds to the humor by getting in those moments that's like heroic but unexpected. He's really funny that way.
What was it like working with Tony Hale and the rest of the cast of Sketch?
Oh, it was super fun. Me and the other kids, we formed great connections. Me and Q are still friends to this day. And working with Tony Hale was super fun. Great guy. Awesome to be on set with him. Yeah.
That's cool. And why do you think parents should take their whole family to see Sketch in theaters?
They should see Sketch because it's a really family-based movie. If your family is having maybe like a little bit of a low period in time, just go see Sketch. It'll help you maybe figure those out, and Bowman will probably give you a good laugh.
Oh, I love that, man. Was there any moment on? Oh, actually, let's go with this one. What was it like acting next to monsters that weren't really there? What was that like?
I mean, it was a bit awkward because like I don't even see it. Like when Dave is supposed to be shaking the bus, it's kind of odd because I'm not super good at getting scared on cue. I'm also not super good at like crying on cue. So I had to like pretend that this monster was shaking the bus and it's gonna eat me. So yeah, it was a bit awkward though. People should see Sketch in theaters because Bowman will for sure give you a good laugh, and it's a good genuine film. It's not like anything mainstream or original. I mean, it is original. You know what I mean? It's not like mainstream stuff. It's very original actually.
Angel, you guys, first of all, we love everything you guys do. Incredible. I bought so many tickets to Sound of Freedom, and then we saw Possum Trot. We called the adoption agency the next day. It was crazy.
Well, we thought about it for years, but we knew.
But again, it was just everything you guys do, man, and I couldn't wait to show up for this because I did the Netflix version of Arrested Development with Tony Hale. That's a good friend of mine. And then Darcy, I've known her, she's my NBC homie. So it's all good. It's like you guys are killing it.
Oh, well, thank you. And it's honestly what you guys do in our community that makes this happen, right? Wow. It's the guild and voting, and so we appreciate all that you guys do. We wouldn't be here without it.
I love your model, by the way, too. I mean, just the fact that you really find out what people want and then you do it. You know what I mean? Which is
crazy
awesome.
Concept, right?
Yeah, I know.
Let the people choose.
Yeah, that's the thing. I love it.
Oh, amazing. And so you touched on that you worked with Tony before.
Yes.
You're here to support Tony and Darcy. Are you excited to see them do kind of more of a unique role than they've done before?
Absolutely. They're good people. Tony is like my bro, and he's just one of the best people in the business, and so is Darcy. And then also family entertainment. We don't have enough. I mean, listen, we have 5 kids and a granddaughter, and we can hardly go out. We're looking for what we can watch together, and it's wild, you know? We have to actually go backward to find
We went
things
to
we
a
saw
cartoon.
before.
The last movie we went to see what was that?
Was it Robot?
No. Oh, Dragon.
Oh, yeah.
The live action How to Slay Your Dragon.
Yeah.
Me and him by ourselves watching Dragon.
We're just running. I just
we
like
just
good.
wanted to have fun.
Yeah.
I want
I didn't
good,
want to see
wholesome. I
nobody
want to feel
die.
better. I want to feel better when I leave,
Right.
not worse.
And I think that's one of the strengths of Angel and of the Guild is
Yes.
they want content that amplifies life
Yes.
and makes you feel good afterwards.
Yeah. Or inspired.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of ways to do that. Sound of Freedom, it really challenged me in a lot of ways. Like, whoa, you know, the fact that there's things I didn't know about, but I was inspired to change it. You know what I mean? And that's always an amazing event when you have that.
My name is Amber Shanna Williams, and I'm here because me, Jeff, and Hill go way back at Angel Studios. They were the ones that produced The Chosen, which I am a series regular on.
I love that. So Angel focuses on stories that amplify light. Why do you think it's important to have films like Sketch that are entertaining as well as feed the soul?
I think there's a lot of sometimes challenge in teaching children how to freely express themselves. And I love that they use Sketch as a way to embody grief through creativity for children. And so it's like a lot easier to understand, kind of like Inside Out, you know, how your feelings are embodied and you can kind of go through there. I love that they did that because at first something that seems scary, you realize that you actually have so much control over. And I love that it's providing children with an outlet, a positive outlet. It's also highlighting parents, you know, because some of us grew up with parents who are like, you'll be fine, be strong, we got to be strong and get through it. And I love that it's not just for the kids, but it's a journey for the parents too, to be able to speak. And moving on is not as important as moving through. And I love that they're going to be showing that in this film, how important it is to move through something instead of moving on from it.
that. And last question is just why do you think families should support a film like Sketch, a family-friendly films like Sketch?
Because I think this planet in general doesn't offer enough family-friendly things that can be enjoyed by all of us. A lot of what we consume on television is really, really traumatic, especially for the kids. It's like, it's got close your eyes. I mean, that's how Angel, came to be developed back when they were VidAngel. In the first place was to be able to create content that the whole family could enjoy. And here it's already made that way. And it's hitting important topics. And like you said, it's bringing light to topics that we usually shy away from that are really taboo in such a unique and beautiful way so that we can all relate to it. And there's a message, not just for the little ones, but for the big ones too.
So I am here with the Wing Feather crew, or at least two members of the Wing Feather crew. How are we doing tonight?
Doing great, really excited.
So good. Glad to be here without KO. Great to see you in person. It's
Good
not
to see
often.
you in person,
Normally it's
yeah.
over a voice connection.
You
know.
have legs.
So you're here at the Sketch World Premiere. Something that we love here at Angel is we like to amplify stories we like to tell stories that amplify light, much like Wing Feather, but also with Sketch. What does that mean to you to support other stories that amplify light?
You try.
Okay. I'm really lucky that I get to be a part of a project like Wing Feather that gets to spread that light like that. And I love what I've heard about this movie. I love all of the talent in it, and I'm excited to see what they've done.
Yeah, and I think that, what I'm so excited about for the Wing Feather audience that maybe have heard about Sketch and crossing over to this is it's another family gathering, right? The whole family gets to sit down, laugh, cry, be thrilled, be a little bit scared. I mean, Wing Feather Season 3 is going to scare a lot of kids. His screaming.
Little freaky.
Yeah.
Had me screaming.
No, and I think families want robust. Like, give us, Amplify Light is also show me some things that are scary and how we overcome those things, right? I think it's a journey through. If it's only light, well, that's not the real world, right? The kids know there are dragons. Show me how dragons can be beaten, right? We have actual dragons in Wing Feather. Here we have some cartoon dragons.
Yeah. I think we found a good balance in that.
Right.
Well, thank you both so much for being here supporting Sketch. We're so excited to see what you have with Wing Feather Season 2, Season 3, Season 4, and on and on and on. But thank you both so much.
Thank you very much.
Hello everybody, I am Stephen He, comedy sketch creator on YouTube with 26 million followers. Today is because of my friends over at Angel Studios. I've known them a long time. We've actually worked together in the past. And upon hearing there's a new movie releasing, I'm very excited. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much. So first question, this film, while heartwarming, tackles some difficult subjects like grief. I have to ask, are you ready for some possible emotional damage?
I have a feeling you prepared that question specifically for me. Yes, I think that a movie that makes me feel and impact me emotionally is an experience I remember. So 100%, yeah.
And what are your thoughts on family-friendly films and how important they are to share it with a big, wide theatrical release?
Yeah, I think family-friendly films are a really important genre in movies because it's the one that removes the barrier of entry for a lot of people. And even just my personal experience as a kid, not being able to go and see some movies because of the rating or because my mom and dad were like, don't go see that. Like, that is very relatable. And I think an experience, a story especially, to be shared among people, the feelings that it generates in us, I think that's something to be shared. And family-friendly movies, yep, I'm for it.
And final question for you, but Angel focuses on stories that amplify light. Why do you think it's important to have films like Sketch that are entertaining but also feed the soul?
Yes. Oh, I'm gonna go a little bit deep here. I think we as people, we learn a lot from what we see, and that's on every scale. From growing up, what you would see your mom and dad do, to going to a cinema and seeing what characters on the screen do. I think we learn a lot from what we see. Just even as children, we naturally kind of follow those who we view as our role models. So when these stories are told and when behaviors like kindness are spread, that has a huge impact, maybe even bigger than the filmmakers realize on people.
1, 2, 3. Zach, tell me a little bit about what brings you to the sketch premiere.
It's funny, I looked up to Seth what he was doing on YouTube and Vimeo back in the day. Like 15 years ago, he was putting his short films out there. I just am here to cheer him on because he made his first feature and that's what I'm working on. I'm just a fan of Seth and stoked for the whole team and Tony what they made, and I think they can make a bunch more movies now. Like,
so if you had to describe Sketch in 2 words, what would you say?
It's like Jurassic Park meets Inside Out.
Favorite monster and why?
Oh, it's Dave. That's why I got the blue shoes on, the blue hat. Dave moments, all Dave moments.
I'm gonna have to go with Dave too, because he's just perfect.
The Toddler, because he's really loud and colorful.
I gotta go with the Iders.
My favorite moment was from the beginning to the end because this is one of the best movies you're gonna see, so make sure you go and see Sketch.
When they're at the house and the Iders are attacking.
I think that was also one of my favorite parts that I loved when they came out with the squirt guns and attacked all of them with the hose.
I love the end so much. It was so touching and it was just amazing. And you have to see it.
Go see